Micah 6:8. He has told you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justice, and to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. Hi, I'm Barbara Kowal. The last part of the scripture that I shared with you really speaks to me. Walk humbly with your God. I grew up on a farm in upstate New York that had been in our family for many, many generations. Had 5 siblings. We were all given responsibilities and had to do our chores independently. That was just what you did when you were on a farm out in the boonies. So I learned early on to take responsibility, to do things on my own. So fast forward to when I moved to Nevada several years later, and was married, had a family, and then 20 years into my marriage, my husband died. My son had just finished his first year in college, and all of a sudden I was on my own, and it was like, okay, you're supposed to be independent, so that's what I did. I jumped into running my household, supporting my son, teaching special education, and other responsibilities that I took on. I was active in my church, fulfilled those roles, and God helped me manage to get through living my life. But one thing that I didn't do, because it was difficult for me, I was not able to easily ask for help when it was needed. So God has a way of teaching us things in a way that maybe isn't comfortable for us and sometimes harmful to us. And what happened to me, some of you already are very well aware. In January 2014, I guess. Anyway, I was putting Christmas decorations away in the garage, up on a stepladder, of course by myself, because I'm independent, right? And reaching up on that high shelf, I lost my balance, fell to the cement floor, shattered my leg. And here I am. What do I do now? So I thought for sure that in the fall that was just going to be, the total end, because there wasn't much space to where I fell, and I thought I was going to crack my head open. But anyway, I managed somehow or another with God's help to make my way, drag myself across the garage floor, up into my kitchen, over to the phone, called 911, unlocked the back door, and waited on the floor for someone to come and help me. So they took me to Carson Tahoe. Carson Tahoe took one look at that leg and said, she's going up to Renown in Reno. And the surgeon there was able to put the pieces together, and he said, you did a good job, you shattered it. So he worked on it like a puzzle, put everything back together. But then I had to be in rehab for a month, and then home with OT, PT, nurses, someone to live with me. I couldn't do anything by myself at that point. So I had to remember to ask and let people know when I needed help. But I didn't totally learn my lesson, because later on I injured that same leg, cracked a bone, ultimately ended up having knee replacement surgery. But all these lessons to find out that, okay, I cannot be independent. I have to reach out. I have to bring in my community of Christian brothers and sisters and my family and ask for help when it's needed. So I tried doing that, and guess what? Everybody was there when they were asked, and I was supported 100%, very willingly. And I learned that, okay, every time I'm going to need to ask, But before I can ask, I have to pray and ask God to give me the strength and the courage to reach out and to admit, hey, I can't do this. My two hands alone aren't going to be able to let me stay in my home and continue the activities that I do. So, lesson learned, and I'm still learning it. I still have to continue to pray. It's still difficult for me to pick up that phone or reach out to someone and say, I need you. But the response of everybody is just so overwhelming. And I am going to read the scripture that ties in very much with what I shared with you at the beginning. Psalm 119:66. Teach me knowledge and good judgment, for I trust your commands. And those commands included in Micah 6:8 remind us, in addition to walking humbly with your God, to do justice and love kindness. And how great it is to be surrounded by all of you and all of those who actively show kindness and show love through one another, with one another. And I just thank you all, and I thank God.